10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, and welcome to Dax Chats. In this episode, I'm speaking to someone who came from Melbourne, but now is on the Gold Coast in Queensland. He is a country rocker, I would say, and he has a brand new single out. It's called Country Kind of Guy. He is a country kind of guy. He is Brook Chivell, and today, Dax Chats to Brook Chivell, and he is.
G'day, mate. How you going?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
That's good. That's good. So let's talk about your journey. Your journey's been fantastic. You had the Brook Chivell band, and then that went into solo projects, and the album Fearless Riders come out. It's got a string of hits on it. Tell us about your journey, man.
From the very beginning?
Yeah, go for it. You know, nobody knows you on Dax Chats.
So I was born in Melbourne originally. Lived in Tullamarine for a fair chunk of my life, so right near the airport, and always heard the planes taking off and thought I really want to get on one of those planes and not come back at some point, which I've done. So, although I had to drive, not fly.
You drove all the way to Queensland, did you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. What a good drive that is, all the way on the East Coast. Beautiful.
Yeah. I was about 24 hours. I was about 18 hours drive and about 4 hours sleep, something like that.
Yep.
But so that, I don't know. Specifically, I grew up and I love music. So I started playing guitar when I was about 17, and I'd always loved singing and always loved music. And my parents had a very limited record collection of dad's stuff is basically old country music and rock and roll, and mum's was she's a hardcore music lover. I don't know if you know who Pam Ayres is. Do you know who Pam Ayres is?
Pam Ayres. I think that's a bit before my time. Yeah.
So Pam Ayres was an Irish poet.
Yes.
She used to do like funny poetry. That's the kind of stuff my mum listens to. No music whatsoever. Doesn't have a musical bone in her body. So I guess I got most of my music from friends. Really, because especially initially, you know, when I was learning to play guitar, that was all just me and a couple of friends would get together and teach each other stuff that we'd, you know, learned. There was no internet, so it was like, a friend showed me how to play this chord, and it's a, you know, B minor or whatever. So that's kind of how we learned to play guitar.
Pretty much like that's how I learned to play guitar, because there was no internet back then when I was learning.
No, I've got a couple of mates that are really great guitar players, and we often say, I mean, I'm not a really great guitar player. I'm serviceable, but we often will say, just imagine if we had YouTube when we were kids, because it was so dedicated. You know, we'd spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day playing guitar, just sitting in the bedroom, locked in there playing guitar, much to my parents' dismay. Big time. Because I wouldn't play softly either. I wouldn't play with headphones on. I had a little I don't know, I think it was a 20-watt amp, and just everything on 10. All of it. So I'd like to, and all I'd hear over the top of the was shut up.
keep that bloody noise down.
Yeah, that's a lot. What my mum especially. I mean, because Dad was at work, so poor mum was in the kitchen, and I never played a full song either. That was probably the biggest pain. Was, I'd play the start of the song because that was the bit that I knew, and then I'd stop and go on to the next bit that I knew, kind of thing, which was another song. And I think my mum actually has a soft spot in her heart for "Knocking on Heaven's Door" because it was the first song I'd play all the way through.
Oh wow! Well, there you go. That's a hard one to learn to get all the way through.
A massive 3 chords, and I don't think I play 4 chords. I don't think I played it right then either.
So you've grown up without a musical family. So and your inspiration was playing guitar. You've been and you're a pretty good guitarist. I've heard a lot of your stuff, and I quite like it. Like the stuff you come out with is really good.
I try not to release garbage.
we all try that.
Some people may disagree, but I do my best.
No, you've done well. I mean, what's that? Hot Country Girl. That's just brilliant. I love that. You've done what have you done since then? Out of My Song. That's an awesome track. The duet you did with Natalie Pearson. I wonder what you kissed like. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. And In My Life. That's a good track. That's a nice soft track for you. That's a very nice soft track for you.
Yeah.
And as you say, it was a love letter that was written to an old girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was actually written as a proposal.
Oh,
so
wow!
I asked her to marry me with that song. Didn't work out so well, but I got a good song out of it. So
there you go. Fearless Rider. That's an awesome track for Fearless Rider, and then you did the video clip with the PBR.
Yeah, bit of a foot stomper, that one.
Yes. Now, through all of this, a lot of this time, like you had sort of 2017, 2018, 2019, it's all been a rise, and it's all on the album Fearless Rider. But then 2020 hits, and we're all stuck in our homes. We all can't go out and gig, and as you say, I've just seen on your socials this morning actually that. You were out there saying, this is where we'd be this weekend. It would have been Gimpy Muster. You're not there. No one's performing. Casey Barnes is commenting saying, "I miss it, mate." And you're like, I just can't wait to get back out with the band.
Yeah.
How you been going through all of this?
To be honest, it's been really a creative time for me because I gig so much. I find that. Well, actually, probably because all of the songs that are off that album, aside from Fearless Rider, were written probably 2014, 2013, 14. So there was probably a good 4 or 5 years there where I didn't write a song at all, nothing. And I, to be honest, I was really worried. I thought I'd lost it. I thought, oh, well, creativity's gone, and, I don't sit down, I wasn't really doing it. So I was really worried that, it was never going to come back. But because I couldn't gig, I've been sitting at home playing guitar, which is what I used to do all the time. I'd be sitting around playing guitar and coming up with licks and coming up with, things that I thought were interesting that I could turn into songs. And it came back with a vengeance. I probably there's probably 100 voice messages in my phone of new ideas that just came back from the start of COVID because I was sitting down with the guitar. Because when you gig 5 nights a week, the last thing you want to do is sit down with the guitar and play guitar. So I've been sitting down playing guitar. My guitar playing's come. I got all my chops back because I've been practicing like crazy as
Mhm.
well. So it was really, that's another thing that suffered because I was the front man singer guy. My guitar playing had really suffered. I hadn't been practicing because most of the
Mhm.
gigs that I was playing were just acoustic duo or
Yep.
solo gigs. So
Mm.
I was just banging out chords. I wasn't really playing anything, super
Yep.
interesting because
Yep. Mm.
that's what the gigs were.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's your Montana entertainment
Yeah,
gigs with Natalie.
with
Yeah,
that, yeah.
for sure, for sure. Now, the new song is called "Country Kinda Guy." Walk us through the new song.
So it started out initially as like a Randy Houser kind of vibe. Like I was in the US in 2012, and a friend of mine was actually working with Randy, and he was his sound guy. So um, I saw firsthand what was going on there, and I really loved the song "Boots On,"
Mm.
and so it's kind of that vibe. When I wrote it,
Mm.
it was that kind of vibe, and to be honest, the reason it hasn't been because I really like the song. The reason it hasn't been released earlier is because it just wasn't really fitting with anything else that was being released at the time by anybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
Luke Combs kind of obviously has come out with some, kind of foot stomping songs, and that's the reason it's come out. That's why I put it out now, because it's got something to sit with. Because
Mm-hmm.
the last 3 or 4 years, it's been a lot of kind of really, really poppy country. The finger snaps and no real drums, and guitar riffs
Yeah.
are kind of gone out the window a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
so Luke Combs has kind of brought that back with a vengeance. So it gives me, like I said, it gives me a spot to release it that gives it something similar to sit next to, where DJs aren't, or like radio people aren't sitting there going, well, what am I going to play this with? Because it's too different.
Mm. Well, I don't think so. Yeah, actually, I agree with you that there's been a lot of that pop country has sort of taken off. The guitar country vibe that has been around, and as you say, Luke Combs has certainly brought it back, and in a big way. So, I think that. Do you think that now that we've set in this pandemic, and people are starting to get more creative and start bringing out stuff that actually sounds like the old school stuff, that actually sounds like stuff that we used to listen to? Do you think all that's going to come back?
Who knows? I mean, if I that's the $1,000,000 question. If I knew that, I'd probably go and release some of that and be a millionaire. or be a superstar. But I mean, I guess 3 years ago, I made a promise to myself that I'd only release music that was me, that I thought
Yeah.
was suited me. But there's a lot of people out there chasing sounds that are big, and I know that's not the kind of music they like, but that's what they're doing to make it. But I just said to myself, I'm not going to do that. If people don't like what I do, that's cool, and if it's not in vogue at the time, that's cool too. But I want to find the people that like the stuff that I do, not chase the people and try and release what they want to hear.
Well, that's. I think any artist has to be true to themselves. If you're not being true to yourself, how are you going to get those supporters in that understand you and understand your journey?
Yeah, that's 100% right. It's one of those you attract your tribe kind of vibe. So your vibe attracts your tribe. I think that's the thing that I'm hoping on, is that playing the music that I like will attract people that like that kind of music. Because if they like pop country, they're probably not going to like country kind of, or they might like it, but it might be something different for them or whatever. It's music, so it's purely subjective. They might like it. I hope they do.
Yeah. Well, I certainly do. I think it's a great song, and it's playing on the Country Thunder Network, of course. Now, you had Jay Seedy at your house a few weeks back. Does that suggest that you have done a video clip for the song with Jay?
Nah. No. We're just hanging. Jay was up to do some video clips with some other people, and we just gave him a place to stay overnight. We caught up for a feed or whatever, and he didn't have any com books, so we just said, "Oh, come and stay at our place. We got room." So he did. Unfortunately,
just happened to be on a Tuesday night when you do Tuesday night lounge room lives.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like, "Oh, I've got to go live now. Oh, do you want to be on it?" So we kind of did that. It was complete. You know me, when I do my Facebook lives, it's completely wing on the seat, by the seat of my pants. I don't care. It's just one of those. Whatever I feel like doing is what I do.
It's just like these Dax Chats. There's no script. There's no rehearsal. Whatever happens.
Yeah,
and that's it. Yep. So pretty much, you were the first one to start these Facebook live shows. How did you come about with that? And I know it's changed over the course of, like, it used to be Lounge Room Live, and now it's, I'm doing my shopping in the supermarket, I'm doing some cooking, I'm doing a bit of this, a bit of that, I'm talking in the car. So you've done you're sort of changing it up a bit, but you were the first one to start doing these things before everybody started doing it.
I think that, look, there was, to be honest, you know, Brandy was doing a little bit, Trav Collins was doing a little bit, but they do it you know, here and there. You know, Brandy's always been very like, "Oh, I'll just go live," kind of thing. But there's no rhyme or reason, and I guess Trav kind of did it before. I mean, you probably remember before the CMC Awards, it'd just be every man and his dog would be doing Facebook lives. That was because they were trying to drum up votes or whatever. And you know, some of that, like I said, Trav was probably the first one that I saw, but he wasn't doing it on a regular basis and
consistently.
Yeah. So I did Star Maker in 2017, and one of the things that the judges said to me is, "We've got no idea who you are." Because my Facebook profile was very like standoffish. It was just pictures that I thought were cool or videos that I thought were cool, you know, of me doing stuff or whatever. It was very like, it was very standoffish and not much of who I was as a person. And I think it would have been in mid-Feb, I think. I was just chatting to Nat Pearson, and I said, you know, I was really disheartened by that, because, you know, I don't think I'm a douchebag or anything like that, but people really had no idea. And she said, "Why don't you go Facebook Live? Just get your guitar and go Facebook Live, sing a couple of songs and have a chat." And being me, I took that to the extreme. And 3.5 years later, I'm still going.
You're still doing them, every Tuesday night. That's it. So, but you know, like, I guess social media doesn't really show people who we are, right? And unless we are doing stuff like this, where, you know, it's just, you know who I am, I know who you are, because we've done these types of things. And, you know, you go out and do, you know, Facebook lives, and then people sort of start joining in, and they start getting to know who you are. I mean, without that type of thing, they really don't know who you are. Even if you are on a stage somewhere, you're just a fella singing songs on a stage.
Yeah, I mean, that, I guess, being, you know, I guess we're probably around about the same age, and I guess growing up, you didn't know about your idols. I didn't know what Axl Rose was like. I had no idea. I just loved his music. Same with, you know, all the bands that I loved. You know, you'd see a little article here or there in, you know, a magazine or whatever, or a little interview or whatever, or an, you know, MTV or something, and an interview on there, and you'd be like, oh, okay, well, that's what he's like. That's could be so far from the truth. You have no idea what people are like.
There was no insight into these people and who they were. Exactly right.
Yeah. So now it's on its head. Now it's people want to know. A lot of times people want to know you more than they want to know your music, which is weird to me, because I'm just a normal dude. I'm a normal dorky dude. just nothing. There's nothing overly special about me other than I play guitar and sing. I'm just a normal guy. I go out for a ride on my motorbike when I get a chance, and go to the gym because, you know, I enjoy it. But I'm just a normal person, and I guess
You do it.
that was
You do a
that was
day job. You do it. You do a day job. You run around at night time, you know, playing music, and you know,
Yep.
you go to the gym. You have a dog at home. You know, you love your dog. You know,
Yep.
it's all pretty normal stuff, right?
It is. It's all very normal stuff, and the reason I guess that the reason that my Facebook page was the way it was is because I thought, who wants to know any of that stuff? I'm just a boring normal dude. I'm sure there's people out there living the rock star lifestyle, but I'm definitely not. I'm just living like you know, everybody else. But I guess some people like that. Some people just like to know that you're a normal person like they are.
They want to know that you're approachable, and then, you know. So I guess with these lives that you're doing, you know, you're pretty much answering every comment. You know, well, not every comment because they run through quite quickly, but you know, you're forever saying g'day to people that join your lives. If they've got questions, they've got requests. You know, so you've opened yourself up to all these people, and that's why you've got the following you have. I mean, I think the other day when I was watching it, you had over 60, 70 people watching your live. So you're doing very well with that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's people out there doing a lot better, and you know, there's people out there making money out of it and stuff. I never did it for that. I just did it because I don't know. I did it really for the music. I wanted people to know who I was, and hopefully that would, you know, they'd go and have a listen to my stuff on Spotify or whatever it is, or maybe buy an album or something. You know, that's kind of why I did it in the first place. And
For sure. So I need to ask you, how's your yoga and motivation greatest hits going?
I've still got some left.
That was a funny story, man. That was
for you.
Yes, you're at Tamworth, right? You've ordered the album so you sell it as merch, but the people that had processed the album had packaged the wrong CD in your album.
So they hadn't packaged the wrong CD. They printed the wrong music onto my CD. So it had the right picture on it. It just looked like one of my CDs.
Your album. Yep.
It looked like my album. And then I started getting messages. I probably sold 20 of them. I guess I sold 20 the first gig. It was a pretty big gig, so did pretty well on the merch. And then I started getting messages saying, your music's really different than what's on your album. And I said, no, it's not. And they're like, yeah, it's really different. It's like, and have you checked? And I'm like, why would I? So I went and put one in the CD player. And I was horrified. So I rang the manufacturer. They rushed them to me. So I think that was so the gig was on the Friday, and I found out on the Saturday.
Yep. You there?
Oh, what is good? Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Yeah. That's right.
And so I found out. I rang them on the Monday, and they had shipped me. They'd shipped me the new, like the right thing. I got it on the Thursday in Tamworth, and then so I had to try and find as many of those people as I possibly could that had bought a copy of the album. But I think I had to post probably 15 out, so that cost me, and 2 of them were to Switzerland. So,
oh God,
yeah.
Oh man, it was for me it was a funny experience. For you, definitely not. But
well, at the time, it is now, but at the time it was pretty stressful because I had the year before I'd gone to Tamworth without any CDs, no merch whatsoever. I just went to Tamworth, and I'm like, I had people come in. I think I had 5 CDs, and I sold them within the first 20 minutes of the first show. I'm like, oh well, that was pretty smart.
Yep. You
So,
learn, you live and learn, and that's how it goes. So
yeah.
I know that you've been back in the studio. You posted a little snippet of what you were doing in the studio the other day, and I found it very interesting that in the comments. Someone said that you just have to put words to it now, and you basically haven't written anything for what you've done yet.
Not that song. So basically, with this new stuff, I'm just going to change hands. My arms go on sleep. So with this new stuff, I'm trying to do it really old school. So I'm trying to do. It's kind of really 70s sounding, probably kind of 70s rock and roll sounding. So, so back in the 70s, a band would go into a studio like a Deep Purple or one of those kind of bands, and they wouldn't have finished songs. They'd have ideas and they'd bounce them around and kind of turn that into a piece of music, and then the vocalist or the lyricist or both would go away and write the lyrics and come in and sing on it. So I did. Actually, it was yesterday, and I recorded 4 tracks, four beds, which were, and also I've my stuff's never been recorded live either. It's always been lay down the drums, lay down the bass, lay down the guitars, and layer it. That's always been what I've done before. But I specifically wanted to record live this time, just for the vibe. So 2 of the songs I recorded without click track. So Lord knows, like they've got a vibe. They have a feel because they're songs that kind of they're a little bit partsy. So some of the parts are a bit faster than other parts, and that's
that gives it a better warmth, like if you stick into that click, 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 it's boring.
Well, I think it's it's something that a lot of musos forget about, because everything, especially in country, especially in modern country, everything's really it's on the grid, and the vocals are tuned to within an ounce of their life, and everything's it's very on the grid. So I kind of wanted to avoid that completely this time around. So so I've got one of the songs has got completed lyrics. 2 of the songs have got partial lyrics that need a lot of work still, and the other one, the one that I actually put the clip up of, has nothing except the guitars, or except the music.
So you're going for a more organic approach this time around, which is it's going to give it a bit more warmth. I think it's going to be good, because what I heard on that little snippet is beautiful.
Oh, thanks. It's kind of one of my greatest influences growing up was Johnny Diesel and the Injectors. And that song's kind of that vibe. It's that vibe. Yep. It's not. I mean, it doesn't sound really like any of their stuff, But I'm actually thinking about getting the sax player to play on that one, because that was a big part of that sound. Yeah. We'll see.
So you're thinking about Soul Revival. Wow, that's going back some time now.
80, 88, 89?
88, 89, that'll be right. Yep, you're taking me back. You take me back. I love that album. That was brilliant.
It's such a great. I mean, I learned to play guitar. Like probably 4 or 5 of those songs are the first, kind of rockin' songs that I really learned to play. Because the good thing about it is they're not super complicated, but they just sound so cool.
Yep. Very true. Very true. Johnny Diesel, Mark Lazotte, whatever you want to call him. He is a wonder. Absolutely brilliant.
He is. If he's watching, I might hit you up for a solo on that song. What do you reckon? Let's do a collab.
Oh, yeah. There you go. I'll tag him and see what he says. How's that?
Tag him on a collab.
All right, Brooke. Well, what's coming for you? Obviously we've still got this whole COVID thing going on. We don't know what's happening. Festivals are available apparently in Queensland. I think the Billawilla one's still going ahead. VDM Fest.
No, it's just been cancelled. It's just been cancelled.
Oh, it has been cancelled. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I think he cancelled it on Monday or Tuesday. One of those. It was looking
Oh,
okay, and then with the border closures last week, um,
yeah, yeah. All
it kind
right.
of stuffed. It
I
kind of
was,
stuffed it, unfortunately.
I was watching that one, and I was thinking, is it gonna go ahead? And I was, I just had no idea because he was even trying to advertise on my Country Thunder page. He sent a message to Tony Q. Tony Q's part of the Country Thunder thing as well. So he was telling me like, do you want to advertise this thing? I said, well, I just don't know what we can advertise yet. I don't know what shows we can advertise because we don't know if they're going to go ahead.
It's I mean, I feel for the guy because he's really really stuck out. Like he just
He has
for as long as he possibly could, and it's a tough time because people like, oh well, why would I bother buying a ticket when it might not happen? So at the same time, it's like if you don't buy a ticket, it's definitely not going to happen. So it's just it was really really tough, and I actually did the VDM Fest last year, and Nat did it the year before that. So I've been the last couple of years, and it's a really good fun festival, and it's a really good time as well. But
I've heard it's really good. I'm so sorry that that's happened. I just don't know. So, do you think that Tamworth to go next year? Do you really think Tamworth to go? I mean, with everything that's going on,
I'm not the person to ask because blasé is not the word. I tend towards we're really overreacting about this thing. That's what I tend towards. But I mean, if I have to wear a mask, I wear a mask. I had to wear a mask today at work. That's fine. I follow the rules. I'm not out there breaking rules or anything like that. But I don't know. Like my parents have been in lockdown for the last. They're in Victoria, in country Victoria. There's not a case within 100 miles of them. They're still in stage 3 lockdown. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Same as 90% of New South Wales. The only affected part's really Sydney, but they can't come over the border from Tweed to the Gold Coast. I don't get it. But I'm not a politician. I'm not a politician, so I don't get to say. But from the data from Europe shows that kind of it slows down over summer. So there's every chance it'll kind of disappear. Not to say that it won't come back in winter next year or towards winter, but it'll probably slow down significantly over summer.
So yeah, well, you know where I am. I'm in China, right? I'm where it all started. So yes, you're absolutely correct. During the summer period, it has gone to nothing. There's 20, 30 cases here, maybe, less than 20 cases a day sometimes, but it's still here in summer. It's still here. And we do envisage that by, fall, the autumn and then winter, it's gonna escalate again. So you're spot on. I think that's what's going to happen. Yes. So during the summer months, it does drop down significantly. But the problem I have is that we don't know about asymptomatic people. We don't know, about who's got it, who hasn't. And if a big festival like Tamworth happens, which usually attracts people from across the world, that won't be able to happen next year. But if one person has it at a venue, and then these people spread out to different venues and over the whole, 10 days. It's going to blow up. It's just going to blow up, and I just don't think that's safe for the Tamworth Regional Council to even consider putting something like that on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's all going to be very time based. It's just going to depend on what's going on, and the other problem with Tamworth, I guess, is that generally it's an older demographic as well. The people that come into town, it's something that the grey-haired nomads put on their calendar 3 or 4 years in advance and kind of make plans to be in Tamworth, and it's just one of those stops that they kind of do. So, you know, there are generally a lot of older people there. So I guess that's a danger as well.
For sure.
It's not, you know, it's very, very, very occasional that somebody under 50 has any kind of issues. It's just the way that it goes.
Well, all I can say is I'm hoping for groundwater 2021.
Me too. The only problem is now we've got an extra year's worth of acts that didn't play here this year. So I'm just hoping it doesn't push us further back.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah,
being local Gold Coasters, Matt and I kind of, you know, hope that we can get on that one because it's just around the corner.
Absolutely. I was at I didn't get to groundwater, but I got to they had the Surfers Paradise Paradise Live. Live. I went to that one with Casey Barnes performing. That was awesome as well. So
down on the beach,
Yeah, right down on the beach. It was a brilliant concert. They had everybody, but Casey Barnes was the big country act, and then they had Daryl Braithwaite, Chocolate Starfish. Who else? What's their name? Boom Crash Opera, Screaming Jets. I was there for the 2 days. I was like, I'm here. Oh, it's just my element.
So they basically wheeled out every 90s act that Australia's ever had, by the sounds of it.
That's it. It was all like all the old rock gods. All the old rock gods. I was like, come on, bring them on. So yes, that was a fun weekend. That was. I don't think I had a voice after that because I think the Friday night I went to see Luke Dickens play live.
Oh yeah.
And then I went Saturday and Sunday to the Surfers Paradise thing, and by Monday I was shattered.
Hey, you know you have a good weekend when you walk away and like, oh.
Yeah. That's
but
it.
You know you've seen everything, so it's good. It's good.
It was brilliant. Yep. All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for your time. You're almost the second longest chat we've had.
Oh man, you know me. Like I sit there on my Facebook lives usually by myself and talk for an hour. So when I've got somebody to talk to, it's easy to go long. So easy.
Absolutely. And when something new comes out, we will talk again. So thank you very much for your time today, mate.
Mate, thanks so much for having me. I hope you're all safe and stuff in China. And yeah, we'll
catch up soon.
We'll catch up really soon.
One day when I can get back to Australia, we'll have a beer together, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, man. No worries.
Catch you, bud.
See you, mate. That was Brook Chivell, and his latest track is called Country Kinda Guy. It is on all streaming platforms right now, or you can listen to it on the Country Thunder Network, and you can vote for it on the Country Thunder 20. Just go to our website right there, countrythunder.com.au. Until next time, this is DJ Dax for Dax Chats, and we're proudly supported by Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. Bye for now.